All right, good people. Welcome to the Terrible Towel post-game show, and we're about to start this thing up here in just a moment. You guys know how I do. We're going to get into it in just a moment, and I promise, guys, we're going to start a lot faster than I normally do. I'm taking that constructive feedback as I'm still looking at the game here. Robert Spillane making a nice tackle there. So let me stop yapping and get to the action. Welcome to everybody who's rolling in. Let me get the link shared out to a few special people, and then we're going to jump right in. We're going to try to make this, fairly short show, guys. It's later at night, so I want to try to roll through this as fast as I can. I'll get through my points. I will open up the queue for a few phone calls. Definitely can't promise that I'll get to them all. You guys understand that. And then we'll be out of here. All right, so let me share out the link and welcome. How's everybody doing, man? How's everybody feeling early and often here as far as how our Steelers look tonight? Definitely go ahead and throw that in the chat, and I'll get to it, at the end of the show. But I definitely want to see what you guys got to say early here. But welcome, folks. Almost done. Give me a second. I'm just sharing out the link. One more person, and then we'll get ready to roll, all right? Like I said, taking the constructive feedback, man. I'm going to get started early because some people say I kind of, take too long to get started. So feedback taken. Let's do it. All right, so let's do a real quick roll call really quick, man, and then we'll dive head first into the action. Gold Drip in the building. Champagne Poppy. Joseph Dellavicia. The Hawk. Y Diggy. Blair O'Neill. Still Gunplay. Michael Garman. Jay Vega. My brother Tony's in the building. Been talking to Tony and Kenyon all night. Y'all know we do that during the game. Fly High PA. Ali Howard. Rashia Brown. Droz Hill. Lawrence Holcomb. J Will and Yag TV. I may have missed one or two people, but you guys know I can't do the roll call the whole show, right? Let's get started. Let's pull up the notations here, man. And like I said, you're going to see me panning over here to my right. Oh, who's that just got the sack right there? Who's that? Number 46, Scales. Got a sack. These are low tier guys, so no need to really watch. I've seen all I wanted to see tonight. So this is where I want to start. Let's start with a disappointment first, okay? Small disappointment. And, I'll try to say this later in the show as well for you guys that might see this later on. I'm a little disappointed, man, that we didn't see Hodges. We didn't see Duck Hodges early. Looking like we're not really going to see him at all. There's 2.5 minutes left, 4th and 9 for the Titans. I hope they don't throw Hodges out there now, which they might. But I don't think that's a good sign, folks. I really don't. Think about the trend of the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of rotation, depth chart, and things like that. I don't think that's a good sign for Hodges. I'm going to be honest with you. I still like Mason Rudolph. I'm going to talk about him here in a second. And let's see what they do on this 4th and 9. We get another sack. Dangerfield gets a sack along with Robert Spillane. Interesting, man. We have a little bit of depth, it looks like now, man. Even in preseason, we're about to be 3-0 in the preseason. It's been a while, right? But all right, let me get back to what I was saying about Hodges. I might be the end of the road. Who knows, though? It's not like Dobbs is playing great, but it just seems like they're favoring Dobbs more. Maybe Hodges can change the minds of the coaching staff or whoever else, will be giving input in the final game coming this Thursday. We shall see. All right. So let's dive into what I want to talk about first. Guys, how I do it. I break down the first series of both defense, offense, and then I will talk about some particular things that I noticed on defense, and then I will talk about a few particular players, and then we'll be out of here. Like I said, allow you guys to call in. Calls are going to have to be very, very short if you call in. I do see we got area code 973 in the queue, so I'll get to you first when I get to the calls. If you guys want to call in, the phone number is right there on the screen, 619-924-0818. I got to limit you to 2 minutes or less. And that's just how it's got to work. All right, first off, defense. Let me tell y'all something, man. Well, let me do first drive first. Defensive first series. Terrell Edmonds jumps off sides on the first play. Didn't like that. I know you guys are a little jittery, got a little itch right now, but I didn't like that, right? And then right behind that, Stephon Tua gets called for illegal hands on the very next play. So I don't like us opening up the game with, 2 defensive penalties. And Dobbs is still out there, folks. Dobbs is still out there. No Hodges tonight. Obviously, again, like I said, 2.5 minutes left in the game. I probably can go ahead and, I'll keep it on for a second. So then, Artie Burns plays the double move pretty well on that first drive against Davis. Cam Kelly makes a nice tackle on 3rd and 10, and the defense looked really, really fast on that possession. And let me just talk about a couple other things, man. Second series, the Titans was pinned on the 4-yard line. Edmonds with a nice pass breakup on the play action on that first down play action attempt that the Titans took. The Steelers get the safety on the very next play. Tua gets the safety, and we sent a corner blitz. Obviously, we sent Mike Hilton. It got home, but Stephon Tua was really the guy who benefited from that situation. Then the third defensive series, Tuitt and Dupree get a sack on 3rd and 8 to end the drive. Yes, both Tuitt and Dupree. Tuitt was there a touch earlier, but Dupree looking a little faster, looking like he got a little bit of bull rush in him this year, at least in this game. We'll see. Still a big question mark on Dupree. We shall see. But that was what happened there. The Titans converted a 3rd and 1. And I wanted to talk about this. It kind of shows why Devin Bush needs to be out there more in pass coverage. I know it was a play action, but you could see how Vince Williams didn't look necessarily as fast in coverage in that situation, even though Vince Williams got a nice blitz later on in the game, nice sack, on a blitz. And that's what Vince Williams is still going to be good for us. Run defense, blitzing him and things like that. He did it well last year, so I'm not upset about that at all. And it looks like, our boys put up quite a few sacks. If I'm not mistaken, I believe we got about 6 or 7 sacks tonight. So, again, man, the team is looking very, very strong defensively. Now, let's talk about the offensive drive, first opening drive, and then I'll get into some particulars, guys. Where's my notes here? Offensively, Ryan Switzer was in the lineup. Pay attention to that. Or maybe not pay attention to that, because it did look like we were doing a lot of mix-ups out there as far as personnel. I don't think it's telling because, again, on the very next drive, you saw Eli Rogers come in. So it's going to be interesting to see how we're going to work these guys. No Deontay Johnson tonight, but obviously he's going to make the team. But it's going to be very interesting, man, to see what's going to happen with Eli and Switzer. Have they pulled away from some of the other receivers? One other guy we'll talk about here in a moment. But then he also lined up as the returner. That's telling. Moncrief, 2 early targets, and Moncrief helped to convert a 3rd and 3. That's very telling. Ben's looking for him, as well as Juju is probably getting covered and things of that nature. And then Vance McDonald drops a wide open pass to Vance McDonald, drops it, and that led to killing the drive because then we couldn't convert the very next play. And there you go. And it was good pass protection as well by Connor on that series. Great pass, blitz pickup and things of that nature. But McDonald's drop killed the drive. It killed the drive. Now, some other things offensively, Connor had a nice run later on, about a 20-yard run later on in the game. Ben looked a little rusty, okay, to start off with. He looked a little rusty, which is the reason why I feel like Ben, I've always said I feel like Ben should play a little more in preseason. Look at some of the other quarterbacks around the league. Now, I know some of these guys are young, but some of these dudes even played in the first game, maybe a series. But he looked a little rusty early on. But then on the third drive, the run game was super strong. And it was like taking candy from a baby on that drive. On that third drive, easy money. Run game, pound, 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 pound. And then you kill them just enough with quick passes across the middle. Juju running a few crossing patterns. And then you find Juju for the touchdown. Beautiful pass, beautiful recognition by Ben. Great catch by Juju. And boom. No pun intended, business looked very booming right there. So that's kind of where I leave, with the starters. Now let's talk about some individual efforts really quick, man. Jalen Samuels looking a little quicker out there. You can definitely see his loss in weight and speed. He's got it. Didn't do too much tonight, but, he enough the way you can see his speed, but he didn't do too much tonight. Mason Rudolph, man, listen. He threw an interception. Let's talk about that first. But it was clear miscommunication. Clear. You know, it looked like he anticipated Washington going out. Washington didn't. And then, you know, Malik Hooker is able to make an adjustment on the ball. It happens. We've seen it happen with Ben Roethlisberger. We've seen it happen with Ben and AB. Other than that, Mason Rudolph, to me, still looks very poised in the pocket. He's scanning the field. You know, he's taking the check down when the check down is there. Outstanding deep pass to James Washington. And James Washington, once again, and the game is over now, guys, so let me cut it off. No distractions. James Washington, just, again, another big play. Can we have this carry over to the regular season? He looks way more comfortable out there. And he's catching these deep balls, and I'm loving what I'm seeing out of James Washington. And like I said, that was a beautiful connection from Rudolph to Washington. They did that in college, obviously. I still feel like that Rudolph is outplaying Dobbs, and he will be the number 2. But I just don't know what's going to happen between Dobbs and Hodges. You know, to be honest, I just don't know. You know, so we shall see. Let's see who else I got as far as special players to note. Before I get into some of the guys who are on the bubble per se, I think that might be all I have. The Cam Hayward had a huge sack at the end of the half to pretty much end the half for the Titans. All right, so let's just start there, and then I'll get into some more individual things as far as some rookies, and then I'll turn it over to you guys. And like I said, we're not going to be long tonight, and I promise y'all that. You know, it's late. Defensively, we look very fast. I was very impressed by what I saw out there on the defense. I was thoroughly impressed. You know, like I said, even Artie Burns looked decent, you know, early on against Davis on a double move. But then, you know, as they highlighted later on in the broadcast when he was going up against A.J. Brown, you know, A.J. Brown was beating him. And you listen, corners get beat in the NFL. But is how far you get beat and how much away from the play are you is what I look at. Artie wasn't getting beaten ridiculously. You know, even when he wasn't beat, he closed on the ball, attempted to make the tackle. Artie is going to be who Artie is. I'm not still evaluating Artie Burns to see what he is. Artie Burns is going to have to be the guy that impresses me in a year and have me say, oh, okay, Artie, I see what you're doing. But the days of him trying to, you know, to throw expectations from me as a fan, those days are over. You know, I just hope he plays well enough if he has to play, such as a game like tonight when there's no Joe Hayden. That's all I hope. You know, Steven Nelson had a quietly good game tonight for the time that he was in there. You know, very good coverage on A.J. Brown on one of those corner routes. You know, there was a couple plays, if you go back and watch, and that's why I always record the games, and I'm glad they played with that little sky cam tonight, so even without the all-22, I could see some things. Steven Nelson looked pretty solid tonight. But to me, man, we were winning that game at the line of scrimmage. The Titans' offensive line was getting punished by our first team. You know, everybody was getting pressure. You know, if it wasn't Bud Dupree from time to time, it was Cam Hayward. If it wasn't Cam Hayward, it was Stephon Tuitt. Stephon Tuitt was flashing big time tonight. Excuse me. TJ Watt, you know, he didn't get a sack, but he was in the face of people. Did you see the play where TJ Watt broke through the double team on the run defense? You know, this dude, TJ Watt, is becoming a all-around baller, setting the edge, splitting double teams, dropping into coverage, and also getting pressure. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a very, very pleasing thing to see from our guys early on. Devin Bush looked fast out there. You know, even on the play where, you know, again, you got to respect the other team when Tyler Lewan got a hat on him and Devin Bush kind of gets off of the block on that pretty decent long run from the Titans. Devin Bush is stride for stride with this dude. He wasn't going to score, even if Edmonds wasn't there to come over and make the big hit. So, all in all, the team looked very fast as far as our first team. And Cam Kelly looks like a guy that is definitely going to be a part of that mix. I have a note here about Cam Kelly. Not only did he make that big play on the third down, also, where's my note here about Cam Kelly? Excuse me, I don't see it, but I remember it. Forced a fumble in the second quarter. You know, unfortunately, it was recovered by the Titans, but it caused fourth down. So what I remember writing to Tony and Kenyon during the broadcast, I was like, look, this dude single-handedly ended 2 drives by himself. Big time run stop on 3rd and 10, as well as forcing that fumble on another 3rd down to force a 4th down, even with the recovery by the Titans. Cam Kelly is going to make the team. He is going to have a role on the 53-man roster this year. And I'll be the first one to say, you never know who's going to perk up. You never know what a signing is going to do. I apologize thoroughly to everybody that was from the AAF when we signed them. And a big apology to Cam Kelly, because I was the main guy saying these dudes are just, filling the roster. We can't say that about Cam Kelly. Cam Kelly's playing. Okay? Sean Davis went down tonight. Doesn't appear to be, anything serious. He did go back to the locker room, but, even he took time to, throw a wristband off or a towel or whatever to the crowd. He didn't look like he was walking, like anything was out of place. And I know that doesn't always, say what happened, but given the fact that he was kind of, reaching for the lower half of his leg, like the ankle area, you wouldn't expect it would be ACL or anything like that. And those are usually the injuries that you can still be walking but still have a torn ACL or something. So I think he'll be fine. But either way, it was good to see Cam Kelly out there playing. All right, moving right along, man. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the individual efforts, man, with the rookies and guys that we're expecting to or maybe not make the team. And then I'll get over to the calls really quick. And like I said, guys, we'll be out of here after that. Listen, let me throw this scenario at you guys, and y'all tell me what y'all think. And maybe I'll ask you again when I look at the chat. Ulysses Gilbert III, UG3, and Tuzar Skipper. Let me tell you something. We got to find a way to keep these guys on the 53-man roster. I know that most of us would know the Steelers don't generally keep 10 linebackers. Also, you have to pay attention to guys' special team snaps. I don't think Skipper has played special teams. Gilbert has. But guys, I don't think we can deny a guy like Tuzar Skipper. Skipper was making a bunch of plays out there tonight in the run game and in the pass rush game. He's a pure pass rusher. He got another sack, and knocked the ball out. And listen, man, I've always been a guy that rooted for Anthony Chickillo, but I'm going to be honest with you, man. What have you done for me lately? If we're talking about business, man, the Steelers might have to pull the trigger on a guy like Chick. Tuzar Skipper is outperforming anybody else in that role other than Chickillo, who's a little bit injured, and Ola, which we know is injured, and he'll be back early in the season. But at this point, who do you trust behind Watt and Dupree? Who's your rotational piece? And right now, I'm taking Skipper over Chickillo. I'm sorry. Because Chickillo has been in game situations where he played against this same level of talent, and he hasn't flashed. We might have to find a way to keep this kid on the squad, man. I'm sorry. And I know he hasn't been playing special teams, but we're going to have to find a way. This dude's balling. Okay? And then Gilbert, man. Gilbert just flying around out there. Like, that kind of speed and his raw talent, you cannot put these guys, in my opinion, if other teams are looking and evaluating, they're not going to last on the practice squad. They're not going to clear waivers. And again, this is the one time that I have to let me be stern in saying this, disagree with the likes of Dave Bryant from Steelers Depot, and Alex Kazua. I hear both of those guys most recently in the last podcast where they said that he's not going to make it. I'm like, look, I understand the rules that the Steelers generally follow, and, a lot of times we can go with recent history that, he's going to have to play special teams and yada, yada, yada. I get all of that. But, dog, I'm sorry. A guy like the way Skipper is playing, I don't think you can just stick with your normal mode, because you do not. Listen, whoever opposes this. This is my opinion, but listen to what I'm saying. You do not, and I mean you do not have anything behind Dupree and Watt at the current moment that you trust other than a guy like Skipper. Can't let him walk. As well as Ulysses Gilbert is not going to remain on the practice squad. Somebody will get him off of there. This might have to be the year where we do something a little unconventional and possibly keep 10 linebackers. Or if we can't, here's my scenario. You might have to part ways with Chicolo, and I'm sorry, Sutton Smith. You're a late round draft pick. You're probably going to have to go as well, or we're going to have to put you on the practice squad. So that's how I see it as of right now. That's just my 2 cents. Justin Lane. Let's talk about Justin Lane a little bit. Gave up a few receptions. You know, Justin Lane to me is looking like a developing rookie. He doesn't look like trash, but he looks like a guy who's learning and developing, still developing from being a receiver at one point in college. But I think he's going to be good. He will come up and hit you. Made a nice tackle tonight. And I believe his tackle knocked the ball out. You know, and even Marcus Allen had a late fumble that was late in the game. It didn't get challenged, but I love the way we are. It seems like we're definitely approaching knocking the ball out and trying to get more turnovers and such. But Justin Lane, to me, what I still can't understand from the coaching staff, we're putting him in tight situations. Like we have him up on the line, but he's not pressing. And again, this is what Justin Lane was supposed to be brought in for, was to be a press corner. We saw a lot of bell technique tonight. I don't know. I don't understand that. Again, before people put comments in chat, oh, the coaching staff sucks. Whatever. They know more than I ever could. They're coaching on the NFL level. I'm just saying I don't understand the mentality of why we're not allowing him to press more. And I know this is more quote-unquote vanilla defense right now, but to me, if I had an opportunity to try a guy out, I'm going to try him over and over and over and over and over at what I want him to do in the real season. So I would give him as many chances as possible to be that pressed guy. And, you know, some bell technique as well because it's still man, but press. I want to see how well he does with bump and run, press, and we're just not seeing it. And like I said, you know, he gave up a few receptions, and again, primarily because he was playing bell technique and sometimes off coverage. But I think he's going to be okay. Was there anybody else I wanted to talk about? That might be it, guys. That might be my rundown. One last guy. Here's another tricky one when we go back and talk about Eli Rogers and Ryan Switzer. Ryan Switzer got the majority of the return duty. He was the starter. Listen, man, this Deontay Spencer guy, you see that this dude is a living home run hitter at any given time. He has the capability, that speed. You see how fast this dude is? Even again, another end around tonight. And his big play capability as just a special gadget guy or return guy is unquestionable. I understand Ryan Switzer, what he means to the team, what he might mean to Ben Roethlisberger, but who is going to be the other guy that has to go? You know, will it be a guy perhaps like Holton that I've been campaigning to keep? You know, he didn't have his best game tonight, but you got to look at it from this standpoint. Juju Smith-Schuster, James Washington, Dante Moncrief, Deontay Johnson, okay? The next guy is probably going to be Eli Rogers or Ryan Switzer. The number 6 guy, who is it going to be? Is that going to be where you substitute one of these guys for Spencer and or substitute Spencer for Holton? It's going to be interesting. But I think you got to find a way to keep this dude around because he has big play, field flipping capability written all over him. You cannot lose that. We cannot lose that type of guy. That's like a little Tyreek Hill in the making. And what I mean by that is just somebody that at any given time when they touch the ball, they're gone. Lightning fast. It's going to be tough, man. I think that's all I got, man, for now. Very, very good outing, man. I really like how we look tonight. I really do. So far, guys, we only got one phone call. Again, I'm going to stress it. Keep it at 2 minutes or less. I have to ask for that because as more and more calls come in, we got to keep them quick. So let's take this call, and then if we don't have any other calls after that, we'll go to the chat, and we'll be out of here. All right, so we got area code 973. How you doing tonight, and what you got for us?
Hey, what's going on, Sim? How you doing, brother? This is Jay Will.
Good. What's up, Jay?
Hey, man, I want to start off by saying something Leonard would say. Juju Smith-Schuster and Cam Haywood are two lotto studs.
Oh, no, that's Tony. Tony says that.
That's Tony?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lotto stud.
Yeah, man, I'm liking how our defensive line and our O-line is looking, man. Our starting defensive line and our O-line looking, man. We looking pretty good, man. I like how that's looking. And I called like 2 weeks ago, Sim, and told you, man, Cam Kelly gonna make the team, man. I said that. I said he gonna make the team. Remember
you did.
I said that?
You did, yeah.
He looking.
I remember.
I like the way he looking. And Rudolph, man, yeah, I think that's number 2, man. I think that's our number 2 right there. I like the pause he having in the pocket.
Yeah, man, he just looked comfortable. You know what I mean?
And just to finish it up, and I want your opinion on that. We can't get rid of 2-yard skipper, man, because right now the depth we got at outside linebacker. Who we got after Dupree and T.J. Watt?
Chicano.
Exactly. I like him better than Chicano. He flashing too much. Yeah, it's preseason, but come on. You can't keep ignoring him flashing and getting to that quarterback like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like how we look, man. You know, Ben looked a little rusty. That's why we want him to play a little bit more. You know what I mean? But he always start the season off rusty. That's what I'm scared about, and we got to play New England, man. I want you to, what you think about that. And hopefully Davis all right, man, because we need that safety depth.
Absolutely. Well, Jay Will, man, you know I appreciate the call as always. And before I forget, before I respond, let me give a huge shout out and a round of applause to Boulevard Ware with the donation, man. Appreciate you for that, man. And also, let me just say this. See, guys, this is why I say we a family here. And this is why when y'all subscribe, I call you the home team. See that? Jay Will even starting to remember what other people here do. You know, with the Lotto stud thing, that's Tony. Yeah, Tony got me on that. Anytime somebody, so I want you guys to remember this. So as the season goes on, and we talking about players who had a great game, when somebody is balling out, I want you guys to say he was a Lotto stud. And we're going to give that to Tony. That's Tony's thing right there. But yeah, man, like you said, I hope Davis is okay. You're right. I definitely remember when you said Cam Kelly is going to make the team, and this was early. And I was still like, I don't know, man. AAF guy, you called it. Got to give you credit on that. And what else should you say? You said Rudolph. I think you talked about Rudolph being the number 2. Yeah, I think that's pretty locked up right now, man. So we shall see. All right, guys. Look like we got one more call in the queue. Area code 609. How you doing? What's going on tonight?
What's going on, SimFBallCritic?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good. I'm really looking it's really looking good for the Steelers. You know, basically like almost perfect night. You know, defense did good. The offense was like, you know, sometimes serviceable. You know, Rudolph looked really good and stuff. Josh Dobbs, he looked flashy at like some plays and stuff like that. Some plays he just looked like, what the hell? Like, what are you doing? Cam Kelly balled out. You know, I was surprised he balled out. I'm really liking Ulysses as Gilbert and Zane Skipper. You know, I've seen him like improving all throughout the weeks and stuff like that. And like I'm really like starting to like him and stuff. I wish that Deontay Johnson could play. Like, could have played this week. I'm hoping he played the final game for regular season stuff. But we gotta you know get ready and stuff like that for New England and stuff. That's the first game, prime time and stuff. It's gonna be really tough. It's gonna see like, you know, are we ready? Are we really ready to face the big dogs and stuff? And it's gonna be in New England, so they're gonna be ready and stuff. That's all I want to say. Who else do you think has a shot at making the 53-man roster, underrated player or somebody that's that you really like, but you just feel as though they need a little bit more help or something like that, a little more exposure to the game or something like that. That's all I want to say, and goodbye.
Yeah, man, appreciate you tuning in. Again, it's guys that we talked about. I hate to keep saying the same people, but to be honest, guys who fit that mold, it's got to be Gilbert or Skipper, because they are technically on the outside looking in. All of us see the obvious. I'm sure the coaches see the obvious, but what kind of sucks that even when you have as many as 53 men, you still have to choose your roster based off of actual need. And sometimes you got to let real talent go, or you try to hide them and keep them on your practice squad, because we always have to remember it's 53 men, but then of course only 46 dress. So that's why you hear people like Dave Bryant and Alex Kazor, guys who really do this thing, on another level than some of the I like to say the little poo butt journalists out there. Dave Bryant and Alex Kazor and all those guys at the Steelers Depot, they know what they're talking about for the most part, right? So they look at all the analytic things like you have to consider, does so-and-so play special teams? Because if he's going to dress, he's going to have to be out there playing special teams. So things like that are a factor, and it sucks. Because if that wasn't that issue, it's clear that you keep Skipper and Gilbert, but at what cost? What else is it going to cost you? It's going to have to cost you somebody else's spot that's already supposedly on the 53, like a Chicolo. And unfortunately, I got to call him a Chicano because he hasn't done nothing for us, man. Let's be honest. Excuse me. Special teams guy, but he's been Chicano for the last several years in terms of the real regular season. Always a camp phenom and all of that. And even this year, he was kind of quiet in camp because you had other people flashing. But those would be the only two guys, man, that I could really say I think they got the potential, and I hope we find a way for both of them. Everybody else that I could think of, they're not going to make it, man. The Trey Griffeys of the world, and let me think of who else I might like. Trey Edmonds, he's probably not going to make the 53. We'll probably practice squad him. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that's decent. I like the Spillane kid. He could tackle, but he's not going to make the 53. That's probably it, man. I can't think of anybody else. I just can't. So I think that's where we're going to be. So, all right, man, let's take a look at the chat, man. Quick call tonight. In and out. Got a lot of viewers, so I appreciate you guys. So I have to say this, man. 151 viewers. If you guys could do me a favor and bang the like button, give it that left jab for me. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're going to do this all season long, so you Steelers fans who are tuned in. If you're not familiar with what I do Terrible Towel Tuesday on Tuesday. We break down what happened. We look at film. When the real season starts, I have the all 22. We look at some key plays. Look at that. We talk about the upcoming opponent. But during the season, we do these post-game shows, and we basically talk about what happened in the game, immediate reaction. Your immediate reaction before you had a chance to analyze it, and then come Tuesday, I can give my real thoughts after I've had time to view the tape, look at all 22, et cetera, et cetera. And then if anything important happens throughout the week, injuries, things like that, I'm probably going to sprinkle in an injury report, maybe a Friday. So that's what we do here, all right? So if you haven't already subscribed, do yourself a favor and do that. So let's take a look at the chat, man, and see what's going on. What you guys got for me? The Pokemon says, I want to see James Washington as the number 2. The kid looks hungry. He's giving Moncrief a challenge, and that's what we want to see. Loving what I'm seeing. Reminds me of what we're doing, drafting wideouts. Well, let me tell you something, Pokemon. His spot, he's not challenging Moncrief. Okay, you got to remember, James Washington is a Z receiver, right? Juju Smith-Schuster can play all spots. But Juju is primarily going to be hopefully they keep him in the slot, which we saw him do it tonight. We did see him split out a little bit. But hopefully when we go 11 personnel, it's Juju in the slot, Moncrief at the X, James Washington at the Z, right? And you might see different variations of that. But that's pretty much what it's going to be. If anybody that would, quote-unquote, challenge Moncrief, if they improve, it'll be a guy like Johnson, because Johnson is, you would expect him to play an X spot. But when we go to receiver set, you know, it will more than likely be Juju and Moncrief. Could be Washington, but I'm just saying, you know, so he's not really pushing Moncrief in terms of taking his spot, if that makes sense. Let's see. I saw another one here. Ron Chess says Rudolph and Dobbs both make team. Rudolph number 2. He's future number 1. Dobbs a career backup, but that's okay. That's still needed. Yeah, you know, and again, I don't really know exactly what's going to happen with Dobbs, man. I mean, it looks like the Steelers are going to lean his way. If this kid Hodges lights it up in the last game, it could be a situation like Dobbs and Landry Jones last year. You know, the guy that you think is going to make it might get cut. And the guy who had the great last game makes the roster. Dobbs is the biggest issue with Dobbs, is, we all know, is just his inconsistency. You know, he can get out of a jam with the run. You're going to need that at times. It helps. It also helps control the clock. But he makes some wild decisions at times, pretty decent on his back shoulder throws and all of that. But then sometimes he's wildly inaccurate. His inconsistency is going to kill him, you know, in terms of him being a legitimate guy in the league. You know, like he made that great play on the run, threw it to Trey Griffey, come right back and overthrows a 6'8" tight end. How does that happen? You know, and again, I don't have no beef with Dobbs. I want him to be the best he can. I'm just calling what I see. Gold Drip says, I love Mason Rudolph, but I mean, he had 1,000 hours in the pocket and quite oftenly, except sometimes he just checked it down. I just want a little more when you are sitting in the pocket for 7 to 8 seconds. Well, let's be fair, Gold Drip. Roethlisberger kind of did a little bit of that tonight too. You know, it wasn't a deep shot all the time. He took it when it was there, right? And one of my good friends is a Titans fan, and I was texting him. He was actually at the game. He lives in Nashville. And I was like, bruh, why y'all keep pulling the safety out of the middle of the field? Every time they did that, we scored. All right, on the first touchdown to Juju, Ben recognized that. Boom. Juju beats his guy, post route, touchdown. Same thing with James Washington and Mason Rudolph. So, again, it's more so we always have to remember this. Sometimes it is the quarterback just, you know, being checked down happy. But other times we don't know the design of the plays. You know, it's a lot of things that goes into that. And you would have to think that it was a part of the plan because he did take that deep shot to Washington when the opportunity was there and they connected for 6. So, I'll take it. Why Diggy? He says they run more 3 receiver sets than anyone except, I think, the Rams. Washington will get plenty of playing time. Absolutely. Fully agree with that. More AGWS says, do you think Marcus Allen makes it? I don't think so. Marcus Allen is in trouble, man. They're playing him heavily to see what he has, but I don't know. I don't know if he's going to make it. How many safeties are we keeping? It's going to be Davis, Edmonds, Kelly. I think Kelly makes it. And then you're talking about Dangerfield and Marcus Allen. Dangerfield is a special teams guy. So it's going to be very crucial to see who they keep. You know, even though Marcus Allen has made a few plays out there, and he made a few mistakes tonight too. And then you even saw guys like Askew Henry. I don't recall seeing PJ Locke out there. I know he's wearing number 24 as well. I'm going to have to, you know, watch the game again and look for him. I wasn't really looking for him. But, yeah. And George Rice, he says, keep Skipper, Ulysses, keep Spencer, cut Dirty Red, Switzer, and Chicolo. Don't forget Dirty Red is like a key component on special teams. I understand what you're saying. It wouldn't hurt me if they took a chance and cut Dirty Red because they feel like a guy like Gilbert and Skipper can give you more on defense, and they want to take a chance to see if one of those guys can end up being a great special teamer, probably Gilbert with his speed. I'm cool with taking that chance. But again, sometimes teams, especially our Steelers, they get conservative in their approach, and they may not be willing to cut Dirty Red because of what he does on special teams. Just saying. What else y'all got? I'll stay here for a few more moments, man, then we up out of here. Oh, we got 2 more calls. So let's take the calls really quick. Guys, again, 2 minutes or less. If not, I'm going to have to cut it. Let's take these calls, and after the calls, I'll spend another minute in chat, then we'll be done. First up, area code 201. You are live. What you got for us tonight?
Hey, what's up, my man? How you doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. By the way, this is Mahesh. I'm calling from Boston. I'm a diehard Steelers fan.
That's what's up.
I'm glad that you're doing. Yeah, I'm glad that you're doing this show. Definitely, I'm looking forward. I'm gonna be more participating in this show and stuff. But yeah, I'm worried about our linebackers, man. What do you think about our linebackers?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, other than Bud Dupree and TJ Watt.
All right,
so
definitely.
Keep more old linebackers. Yeah.
We'll definitely answer that, man, and I appreciate you calling. It sounds like he's a new caller, guys, so let's give him a round of applause for calling in. He's a new viewer, it sounds like. So quick round of applause, man. I always appreciate guys who call in and give their thoughts. I don't always want to be the talking head. I want this to be a community collective, so I appreciate that. Yeah, man, the depth is just not there. We have to stay prayed up in terms of keeping healthy starters. The starters are looking pretty solid. Even Bud Dupree is looking like he's going to be a little better this year. But after that, Ola is still a guy that we are thinking is going to be a good backup. He still has to prove it during the season. We don't really necessarily know. Chicolo, we know what he is. So that tells you right there the depth is already shaky. So that's why I was saying, man, earlier, you got to keep a guy like Skipper because he looks like a pure pass rusher and he's getting home. And then the same could be said about the inside. I think the 3 guys that we rotate look pretty good so far together. Barron, Williams, and Bush are looking pretty good. But behind those guys, one of those guys goes down for any small amount of time, you got to have another rotational piece. Who's it going to be? Medikevich? I would say Gilbert. But I just don't know, man. I don't know how the Steelers are going to cut this roster down. So, but I am a little concerned, man, beyond our starters, even though our backups have actually shown us that they are better than we thought. And at least they're better than what we've seen in recent years. So those are just my thoughts. Area code 724. You are live. What you got for us?
Hey, man, just found your radio show. I'm a huge Steeler fan, grew up in Pittsburgh, and I wanted to hear what you think about our backup quarterbacks between Mason Rudolph and Joshua Dobbs. Who do you think the future is if we have to choose between those two fellas?
All right, definitely, man. I will answer that, and I appreciate your call. I'm loving this, guys. I'm getting new callers tonight. Love it. We're getting a new crowd. And see, guys, now you can see why I said we got to keep the calls short if we can. I'm gonna hold my excitement on Rudolph for a while. I need to see a little more of it. But I do like Mason Rudolph. I think, and this is me giving a bold prediction, I think Mason Rudolph has the potential to be, the guy who takes over after Ben is done. Because to me, I'm seeing the step from last year to this year. Way more comfortable. He's more like Ben Roethlisberger in terms of, stand there and pass, more of a passer type guy. There's still some things he has to work on. But you see the chemistry that obviously he's going to have with James Washington, even though they didn't miss one tonight. But I like it. I think it's possible. I really think it's possible that he could be the future. Everybody else on the roster right now, no. Dobbs is not our future. He could be He could be the mobile Landry Jones for us, like a third string. Hold on as a third stringer or something like that. And then the Hodges guy, I just don't think Hodges is going to get the opportunity. Unfortunately, I just don't think he's going to get the chance, man. But I do like Dobbs. Short answer, I think he could be our future. And I know I rambled a little too long there, so if I'm going to tell you guys to keep it short, I got to keep it short. Next caller, area code 443. What you got for us tonight?
What's up, Sim? It's Gold Drip. I just wanted to say we gotta get rid of Chicolo. I just don't understand. Obviously, they know more than we do, but every time he's in the game, it's just nothing. I've never watched Anthony Chicolo and said, "Wow, you don't even have to be special to be a backup, but at least make me remember something you've done." That's as far as him, but Artie Burns. I'm not an Artie Burns hater, but I mean he's getting beat by AJ Brown it's crazy. But last thing I want to say was Terrell Edmonds. I wasn't a fan when we picked him, but he's looking like whatever percent body fat he had. I watched the Steelers video. He's like insanely fit, but on the field, he's looking like a monster. I'm telling you. Telling all the Steeler Nation, watch out for Terrell Edmonds. He seems like the game is slowed down for him. He seems like he knows what he's doing before. He's not just out there as a rookie, clueless and following what he's supposed to do. He's like taking like a true a safety's mindset of just analyzing what he sees and doing what he's supposed to do.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more. I'll speak really quick on your first point and the Edmonds point, and I will announce this really quick, guys. We're only going to take one more call, which is area code 931, so I'll come to you in a second. So if you guys are listening, only one more call tonight. I promise there's more opportunities on Tuesday when we do Terrible Towel Tuesday, but, got to cut it short tonight. My little 5-year-old's first day of school is tomorrow. I'm putting him on the bus, so I got to make sure I go to sleep and, I'm not dragging myself out of the bed. But I'm willing to say this, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Terrell Edmonds already in his second year from what we're seeing in preseason. Again, bold prediction. He looks better at strong safety than Sean Davis ever did at strong safety. Like my man said, the way I'm just watching him, the way he's analyzing things, and he's more decisive, like that pass breakup. That was quick recognition, drove to the ball, bang. We didn't really get that from Sean Davis from the strong safety spot, right? So I think we might have something here with him and Davis as the safety tandem, and then adding Cam Kelly in there. We might have something brewing right there that we didn't even know we were going to have. Edmonds is looking like the real deal so far this year. At least, playing to his potential. I'm not saying he's going to be Palomalu. I'm not saying he's going to be an outstanding player. We don't know that yet, but he's looking much better so far on field, body-wise, reaction time, speed to ball. You see that already. All right? And, Chicolo. Listen, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if we got rid of Chicolo in favor of keeping a guy like Skipper to give him a chance. So, those are my thoughts. But last call of the night, man. Area code 931. You are live. What you got for us tonight?
Sim, what's going on with it, bro?
Good, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. Hey, this is Rough House from Rough House Boxing TV, man. Hey, love your show. Love the work you do, man. But real quick, and you kind of led into what I was gonna say. But once again, Skipper has shown up, in his third preseason game and made his impact felt. And I've been hearing a lot of people say it's a hard path for him to make the 53, but to me it seems like that path is getting a little bit easier, man.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. But before I go, man, I want to let everybody know, hey, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share to that boy Sim. Hey, if you're not subscribed to him, you're slipping on your pimping. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon. You know what I'm saying? For all things Steelers, all things Terrible Towel. That's what's up, man. Hey, we out.
Oh, man, I definitely appreciate that, man. And, the love is going to be reciprocated, man. So I believe he said, if I'm getting it wrong, guys, you rewind it. I believe he said Rough House Boxing TV. I think that's what he said. Go check him out as well. This is a family affair. Go check him out as well and see what he does. Obviously, I'm thinking it has something to do with boxing. And y'all know I'm an extreme boxing fan. So much so the way I watched the fight last night. Some of y'all probably don't even know there was a fight last night. But the little young Figueroa kid against Chacon. I watched that. Don't get me started on boxing. It's always been boxing and football with me. Like basketball too. But as far as the sports that I know, football and boxing. I'm a super diehard boxing fan as well. So go check him out. I will make sure I will as well. This is a family affair. I don't never mind you guys advertising what you got going on here. Because listen, you know, let's put each other on. That's how I feel. And I appreciate the promotion there, my man. Few more minutes, two or three more minutes, guys. In the chat, I want to see what else you guys got to say. And Roughhouse, if you still listening, man, make sure you put the correct name and all in the chat there, man, in case I botched it. Nays, what Nays talk about? Nays says, I don't know, I just think 44 can do what Vince does, so why not trade Vince? Whoa, Nays. I don't know about that. We all got our opinions, but I'm gonna just put it out there and I'll let Steeler Nation decide. There's no way I'm giving up Vince Williams for Tyler Matakevich. Not doing that. That's just my opinion. Michael Garman says, what do you think about Dan McCullers? Look, man, Big Dan doing some things. Big Dan has improved the last 2 years. Last season, he had one of his better seasons under Carl Dunbar. And Big Dan is, you know, he made some plays out there tonight. Pushed the puck. Look, this is what this dude has supposed to been doing. That boy is 357. 6'7", 357. You supposed to be moving furniture out there. But I like how Dan is looking better. And, you know, listen, we're going to need somebody to help rotate and things like that for Hargrave. Donnie Richardson says, Vince Williams for Tyler. Yeah, that's man. Yeah. And let's be nice, guys. You know, let's be nice. Everybody has their own opinion, but I just don't agree with that one. I'm sorry. But keep shooting them, Nays. Keep shooting your opinions. Who's this? Another guy says, in the green TV says, Vince numbers are trash though. Last was the bet. Here's the thing, my man. I understand that some of you guys might not say that Vince Williams is a great player. That's not what I'm arguing. Are y'all telling me that Tyler Matakevich is going to give us what Vince has given us? And for guys saying that his numbers was trash, the dude put up what? How many sacks he had last year? Was it 12? Or 10, something like that? Or was that the season before? I think it was last year. Like, come on, man. Like, y'all don't get caught up in whatever it is that's taking you off of the facts. Is he great in coverage? No. Is Matakevich great in coverage? No. We saw that last game. Not tonight. Last game. So I don't see if we're all watching the game. Again, we all have our own opinions. I don't see how people are saying that Tyler is better or will give us better than what Vince Williams has given us. Whether either player is good or not, I just don't see it. Let's see. I disagree on Vince Williams' trade. I respect your opinion, but I disagree. Yeah, I'm with you, Brandon. William Jackson says, bro, they tripping. Vince is a C+ player, meaning he's a solid, serviceable starter. I don't know why they thinking. Me neither, man. But like I said, I respect everybody's opinion. Pokemon says, I don't understand these short yardage plays so often. Then it's third and yards, and then we decide to go downfield, putting more pressure to make one play. You got a point there. You've got a point there to Pokemon. Tony talks about that a lot. Sometimes, you know, we put ourselves in that position, and I don't understand it either. Great point. There he is, Roughhouse Boxing TV. Make sure you check him out, guys. Make sure you check him out. He says, anybody who likes boxing, make sure to stop by the house. Just remember to wipe your feet and close the door behind you. Well, let me tell you something, Roughhouse. I'm going to try to remember this tonight. Once I end this show here in a few seconds, I'm going to come over there and I will definitely subscribe because I am a huge boxing fan. So you got a subscriber from me. All right, 2 or 3 more comments, man, then we're going to get up out of here. What y'all got? Why y'all in here talking about the Cowboys? I'm confused. Nay says, with as good as Gilbert and Skipper look, we can afford to trade Vince as he's the only one with the trade value. Nays, I respect your opinion. I'm just going to disagree with it. That's all. I'm just not entertaining that because it's not realistic. What you're saying that's not going to happen. Pittsburgh ain't doing that. This is the first time in the longest time since losing Shazier that we actually have a 3-man rotation, potentially 4, with Gilbert. They're not going to get rid of him. Vince Williams is the most tenured inside linebacker there. And let's not forget this, Nays, he's a signal caller. And I know they're saying Devin Bush is going to hold those responsibilities too, but you got to think about those type of things. All right, last one. William Jackson says, call it for me real quick as a fellow boxing fan. Crawford versus Spence, who you taking? Yeah, that's a tough one. You know what? I'm not going to call that tonight. I will call it after the Spence Porter fight. Then I'll let you know what Spence and Crawford would look like. Because right now, I still think Spence is the stronger of all of them. Spence Crawford would be one heck of a fight. But I want to see how Spence performs against Porter and how Porter performs against him before I call who I really think would win the Spence Crawford fight. Is Trey Griffin in? Nope, he's gone, man. If anything, practice squad. All right, one more comment about the Steelers, and then we'll be out of here. And I went way over time tonight, man, but it's all good. Give me one more comment. One more comment behind Nays, guys. Give me another question. Somebody give me another question before I signs off. You said round of applause for Tomlin. All right, I'll throw one out there. All right, let me comment on this last thing and then I'll be gone. I swear, man, we're the most fair weather fan base, man. And Donnie, you know, we have fun over here. I'm not picking on anybody, but you said Tomlin needs to fire Butler ASAP. Respect your opinion, but it's hard to say that after we see a great performance out of the defense. It's hard to say that. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it's hard to say those things when you see, we just saw a game where our defense, for the most part, our first team looked pretty good. It's hard to say the man needs to be fired because of that. However, I will agree, there are times throughout the season where I'm like, come on, Butler, why are you doing this? Why are you running that play? Why are you doing that? But again, facts are facts. If you go look at the defense since Butler took over, overall, they have improved each year. Our biggest problem has been situational. And I think we're starting to fix that. Last week, there was times where it was a 3rd and 4 with the starters out there. We went man up. Man coverage. Barron had excellent coverage on the wheel route. Got Patrick Mahomes and them up out of there. That's the kind of stuff I want to see on a more consistent basis. Is situational football. We haven't been all bad, but our situational football has been bad on defense. I.e., the Saints game. And, you know, as you go back and look, Morgan Burnett botched that, but still, we should have played that a little better. I would have brought a blitz. Make Breeze get rid of it. It's 3rd and 20 or whatever it was. 4th and whatever it was. Situational. So we just got to improve there. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm not going to waste time talking about that tonight because we got a lot of time to talk about that. And we'll see what happens when we play Big Bad New England. But all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for tonight. If you haven't already, again, make sure you subscribe. Please do that. If you're a boxing fan, let's all run over there and check out Rough House Boxing TV and, you know, chat it up over there when big fights come up. And also, if you choose to donate, if you want to do that, feel free. You know, much appreciated, never required. Down in the bottom left corner here in the chat, bottom, I guess left corner. Down at the bottom is a $sign. You can donate through YouTube, have at it. If you prefer PayPal, that option is available as well. Just click the description. You'll see the PayPal address. Like I said, always got to mention it. It's appreciated, never required. All right, that's it. But all right, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, man. You guys have a great night. If you recorded the game, watch it again, and we'll have more to talk about on Tuesday. But have a safe week. For you guys like me that have to work tomorrow on Monday, don't look at it as a Monday. Just look at it as another opportunity to get closer to the weekend again. But all right, man, y'all be good, be safe, God bless, and good night. And thank you for tuning in to the Terrible Towel post-game show. Peace.